The latest CBC News vote projections as of April 15, 2025 are out, and the race for 2025 is getting intense. Let's break down where the parties stand and what it could mean for the upcoming federal election. We begin with the national stage, where the Liberals, led by Mark Carney, are holding a steady lead with 44.1% of voter support. It's a commanding position, reflecting their enduring appeal in urban centers and among progressive voters. Hot on their heels, Pierre Poilievre's Conservatives command 37.9%, a strong showing fueled by their base in Western Canada and rural strongholds. The NDP, under Jagmeet Singh, captures 8.2%, a modest but loyal following, particularly among younger voters and union supporters. Meanwhile, the Bloc Québécois, a force in Quebec, polls at 5.3%. The Green Party, focusing on climate priorities, sits at 2%, while the People's Party of Canada holds 1.6%. Other parties and independents round out the field with just 0.8%. These numbers set the stage for a fierce electoral battle, with the Liberals and Conservatives neck and neck in key regions. Now, let's head to the West Coast, British Columbia, where the political tides are as dynamic as the Pacific Ocean. The Liberals are narrowly ahead with 42.7% support, drawing strength from Metro Vancouver and progressive voters in Victoria. But the Conservatives are right behind at 39.8%, bolstered by their appeal in the Interior and Fraser Valley, where economic concerns resonate. The NDP, with 12.4%, remains a player, particularly in ridings like Vancouver East and parts of Vancouver Island, where their social justice platform finds a home. The Greens, historically strong in BC, hold 3.0%, a nod to the province's environmental consciousness. The People's Party garners 1.3%, while other parties muster just 0.7%. BC is shaping up to be a battleground, with urban and rural divides sharpening the contest. Next, we turn to Alberta, the heart of Canada's energy sector, where the Conservatives dominate with a commanding 56.7% of voter support. From Calgary to Edmonton to the rural prairies, Pierre Poilievre's message of economic freedom and resource development is resonating loudly. The Liberals at 30.1% are holding their ground in urban pockets like Edmonton and parts of Calgary. But they face an uphill climb in this Conservative stronghold. The NDP polls at 9.1%, finding traction among progressive voters and public sector workers. The Greens, with just 1.2%, struggle to break through in a province focused on oil and gas. The People's Party, appealing to libertarian-leaning voters, sits at 1.9%, while others hold 0.9%. Alberta remains a conservative fortress, but the Liberal and NDP footholds in cities hint at a shifting dynamic. Moving to the prairies, Saskatchewan and Manitoba, the Conservatives again lead with 51.0% support. Their focus on agriculture, small business, and fiscal conservatism strikes a chord in Regina, Saskatoon, and rural communities. The Liberals, with 33.5%, are competitive in urban centers like Winnipeg, where their progressive policies gain traction. The NDP holds 11.7%, a solid showing driven by their advocacy for workers and Indigenous communities, particularly in northern Manitoba. The Greens, at 1.9%, appeal to environmentally conscious voters, while the People's Party secures 1.5%. Other parties trail at 0.4%. This region underscores the Conservatives' rural strength, but urban ridings could be up for grabs as the campaign heats up. Now let's shift to Ontario, the electoral powerhouse with 121 seats. The Liberals are surging here with 49.2% support, dominating in the Greater Toronto Area, Ottawa, and other urban centers where their diverse coalition thrives. The Conservatives, at 38.4%, remain formidable, particularly in suburban ridings like Peel and Durham, as well as rural southwestern Ontario. The NDP, with 8.1%, holds sway in pockets like Hamilton and London, where their labor-friendly policies resonate. The Greens poll at 2.2%, reflecting niche support in university towns. The People's Party sits at 1.6% and others at 0.4%. Ontario is the Liberals to lose, but the Conservatives are banking on suburban swing voters to close the gap. In Quebec, the political landscape is as vibrant as ever. The Liberals lead with 43.1%, drawing strength from Montreal and Gatineau, where their multicultural and progressive platform shines. The Bloc Québécois, championing Quebec's interests, holds a strong 23.7%, particularly in the regions outside Montreal. The Conservatives, at 23.3%, are gaining ground in Quebec City and rural areas with their economic messaging. The NDP struggles at 5.5%, a far cry from their 2011 orange wave, but they retain some support in urban ridings. The Greens poll at 1.8%, while the People's Party has 1.7%. Other parties round out at 1.0%. Quebec's split between federalist and sovereigntist voters makes it a complex battleground, with every riding a story of its own. Finally, we arrive in Atlantic Canada, where the Liberals are riding high with 54.9% support. From Halifax to St. John's, their regional investments and progressive policies have solidified their lead. The Conservatives, at 34.7%, remain competitive in rural New Brunswick and parts of Nova Scotia, appealing to voters focused on economic growth. The NDP holds 6.7%, with pockets of support in urban centers like Fredericton. The Greens at 1.7% and the People's Party at 1.0% have limited traction, while others match them at 1.0%. Atlantic Canada is a Liberal stronghold, but the Conservatives are hoping to chip away at their lead in key ridings.